Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks are back at SIUH Community Park July 7th to the 12th for a 6-game series against the High Point Rockers. Tonight, first pitch is at 6:30. It's Thirsty Thursday with $5 Bud and Bud Light Drafts. Friday, July 10th, first pitch is at 7 p.m. May the Force be with you on Star Wars Night with post-game kids glow around the bases with special lightsaber training packs.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. With us is the chairman of the National GOP, Joe Gruters. Mr. Chairman, welcome to Sunday. I know we had a good discussion on Thursday, but we ran out of time and we have so much more to talk about.
Yeah, so glad to be back on.
Tell me some key states of what the heck is going on.
Well, what's crazy is what's happened in Maine this past week. I mean, who could have ever imagined that 74% of the Democrats, knowing everything that they knew about Plattner and nominated him to be their nominee, would end up dropping out. And he didn't drop out because of these recent allegations. He was already accused of sexual assault. They dropped him because he couldn't win. But that's the Democrats for you. Remember, they didn't allow the presidential nominating process to happen for Joe Biden. They didn't allow it for Kamala Harris. Plattner was a loser. He had so much stuff on him, people couldn't even believe it. But, Susan Collins is in great shape there. And if you look around some of these other Senate seats, look at Mike Rogers in Michigan, just a phenomenal candidate, probably our best chance of picking up a seat in the U.S. Senate. Really working hard, and he's going against his socialist El Said, and all these guys are crazy.
Yeah, how can Michigan vote for this guy El Said?
Well, listen, he just, he said that he's not a socialist, that he supports law enforcement, but then they bring out 5 videos where he said he wants to defund the police. This happens over and over again. They want boys and girls locker rooms. They want open borders. They want the craziness just goes on and on and on. And but listen, they're giving us the matchups we want for these U.S. Senate races, and it doesn't end there. I mean, you look at some of these other races in Iowa, Florida, Georgia. We have a real opportunity not only to win the Senate but to hold the House. And only 4 times in the last 150 years has the incumbent party been able to defy history. We have everything we need right now to do that in this November. We just got to come together and make sure that everybody works hard to support the president.
Common sense has to prevail. I had on my show last week Rob Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois. And the president tweeted out last week, 278 Americans have died since the Iran situation begun. And he just wants to point out that young kids in Chicago, in Illinois, are dying, and he's willing to help, get rid of the dying. And the governor there, Pritzker, the family is worth $12 billion, is not allowing them to come in to fix the problem in Chicago.
And Pritzker's protected by security guards with guns, and he lives behind a gated community and a wall where these kids are getting killed. It's crazy that when they talk about the Iran conflict, that more people have died in Chicago this year through gang violence and gangbangers. The crazy thing is this president wants to help every American, regardless of race, regardless of your background.
He went down to New Orleans and helped the problem there. He went to Tennessee. He went to, Knoxville?
Yes, and look at D.C. Look at the difference. It used to be, I was talking when I first became chairman, we had a couple of our workers that were mugged going back and forth from home who lived nearby. Now you could walk there at night. Everybody feels safe. And that's, at the end of the day, that's why I think people are attracted to the president, because people want safe neighborhoods. Because everybody wants their children to be able to have a chance at a life and opportunities that they either had or they want them to receive more. And this president's literally giving that to them, and the left wants to take it away. The left wants to take away your ability to achieve the American dream. They're pushing these socialist lunatics at all levels of government, and it's the American people. And listen, you saw what they did under Biden. They let 20 million illegals in, and you say, John, why do they want to do that? They want to do it because they're fundamentally trying to change the country. They do not want the America that we have today. They want America to be beholden to these foreigners, and that's when these communists, and they think everything is free. Who's going to pay for all this stuff? That's why the Democrat Party, I think, long term and even short term, I think they're in a death spiral. I think they're going to have a hard time. I was speaking with Speaker Newt Gingrich about it, and I think that they're going to have a hard time pulling their nose up, because once we win November and defy history, then we win the 2028 presidential race, and we go into the census, and we only count Americans, the shift in the balance of power in Congress is going to move quite rapidly. And I don't think the Democrats will ever be able to get underneath the DSA leadership.
Has the Supreme Court done anything about the migrants being counted in the census yet?
They have not yet, but I wish they would. But but I think during the next census, assuming that we're in control, that we win the next presidential cycle, we'll get the right count in place to make sure that that only Americans are counted in basic common sense things like census.
Everybody was trying to figure out why Biden's administration. I'm not going to blame Joe Biden. I don't think he knew what he was doing or what was happening. But somebody around him, somebody has to go to jail because somebody was faking the whole thing in the White House. But they let in 10 or 20 million migrants in to be able to boost up the census in the blue states to get more Congress people.
That's exactly right. And listen, it's because the Democrats will stop at nothing to make sure that they control and that they have power and control. That's why we're suing these guys.
What did the president say? The power in the Democratic Party is worth more to them than the country.
100%. And that's why they're willing to cheat every single day. We're suing these guys. We're being proactive. 150 active lawsuits right now, 180 just in the last year alone. We're bringing the hammer from coast to coast. We're going to make sure we hold these guys accountable, and we're getting some real favorable verdicts at every level of the judiciary, and we're going to continue to work hard to make sure.
What are we going to do about some of these judges that are being federal judges that are being more political than what they're supposed to be?
Listen, I hope that they get impeached, and I think you've heard some members of the legislature basically come out and say that they need to hold some of these judges accountable, and I hope it happens. Because at the end of the day, their job is not to create laws, to interpret the laws that are passed.
Joe Gruters, chairman of the Republican National Committee and the party, thank you for coming on and make common sense prevail. And the only way to take care of the socialists, make sure you win 49 states next time around.
We're going to try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.